What's going on, YouTube? This is BBSP, and I don't want to, I didn't want to give this clown the time of day or any type of publicity again, man. But this clown ass nigga is at it again with his fake ass narratives, his make believe BS stories, and all that shit, right? And just conjuring up, fabricating bullshit. Too fraudulent for TV, aka 2Raw4TV, recently had a punk ass video talking about there's a low key agenda to destroy Michael Jordan's legacy, and we all know where that bullshit is coming from, right? Talking about, he starts off the video where it's a collective effort by people like Isaiah Thomas, Julius Erving, who else? Such and such a, John Sally, whoever. I didn't pay attention to the bullshit video, but it was along the lines of everybody's low-key trying to destroy Michael Jordan's legacy, put out fake narratives. Like, and he was talking about the media is against Mike, and the media is for LeBron. Now, you could tell who's on high, who's high on acid, who's taking drugs, who's taking PCP out here, who lacks common sense. First of all, the media as a whole represents 1/4 of everything that's going on, right? The media doesn't represent 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people. But from the last time I checked, Stephen A. Snitch, Michael Wilbon, various other guys, Colin Cowherd, goddamn Rick, Mr. Rick the Dick Bucher, goddamn guys like former players like Kenny Smith, former players like Shaq, former players like Jalen Rose, Mike Greenberg. Well, Mike Greenberg won the player and shit, but y'all get what y'all mean when I'm talking about the media and shit, right? And including that irrelevant ass, old ass, bastard, old ass white bastard with dementia and Alzheimer's that works for Fox Sports. I don't even want to mention that dude's name, but they seem to forget that 95% of the media has Mike as the GOAT. Okay? They say they'll still say refer to Michael Jordan as the GOAT. And you got these former players that have given Mike props in the past. I mean, not so much Isaiah Thomas because there's still some sort of animosity there. Now that's between those two. End of the day, I mean, I'm not gonna get them in the middle of that shit. End of the day, they gotta figure that shit out. But what I'm saying is, it's like these clowns act like Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp, Malika Andrews, or whoever, what old girl's face is, represents the entire media. All because they share a difference of outlook and opinion and shit. Now, I don't agree with them motherfuckers, on anything. Especially with Nick Wright with this Luka Doncic bullshit. But this dude, 2Fraudulant4TV's punk ass, Mr. Ticket, a.k.a. Ticket Jr., a.k.a. The Puppet, is trying to say that they're trying to paint Michael Jordan's competition better. LeBron's competition better than Michael Jordan's competition. You know what I mean? But it could go both ways. That shit goes hand in hand. It's all subjective. In my opinion, right? I'm gonna get to more of the dumb shit 2Raw says in a minute. He also says that guys like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, they should have asterisks across their careers in comparison to Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, and Patrick Ewing. Yeah, but we get back to all this competition shit, right? The Eastern Conference competition, I'll say Mike had a better, a tougher role getting to the finals than LeBron did, because at that time he was down 0-2 to the New York Knicks. He came back 0-2. He came back from 0-2 and shit. But on the Knicks, they had the Pacers, had the Orlando Magic, you know. But on the flip side, for as great as those 90s teams were that the Bulls beat, I don't think any of them can come close to what the Golden State Warriors were from 2016 to 2019. You can't say with a straight face that them Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, all them guys is better than what the Bulls face in those finals, man. The only thing, the 2016 Warriors, even though they won 73 games, I feel like they could be on par with the 1996 Seattle Supersonics. But when you add a top 20 player in Kevin Durant to an already all-time great team, to already a great team, that's gonna elevate. We cannot sit here and poo-poo that shit. There's a reason why they were overwhelming favorites during that time and shit. But 2Rau's trying to paint this punk-ass narrative that, oh man, the competition was soft as opposed to the Golden State Warriors. You get, like I said again, you can't say with a straight fucking face that those Golden State Warriors in 2016 to 2019 were not better than the Bulls, than the 93 Suns, the 96 Sonics, and those two Jazz teams. And Lakers team, which had a older version of Magic Johnson, older versions of James Worthy and Byron Scott. Don't get me wrong, they were great in their own right. And like I said, I've been watching this game since '89. I hold high regard to those teams. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here all because I'm non-objective and biased and I have an agenda. I'm not going to sit here and not be objective. Those Golden State Warriors teams were better than any of those teams the Bulls faced in the finals. That's just the fact. At this point where 2Raw says that these generation of players deserve an asterisk because they soft, right? Now I'm gonna get into more bullshit that 2Raw says, right? 2Raw also says that Giannis gets more hate than LeBron, which is utterly completely laughable and delusional within itself. But I'm gonna get to this whole thing about this generation is in comparison to the last. Over here saying guys like Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Karl Malone deserve more respect because they played in a tougher era, right? They played in a tougher era, right? And guys like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, they should all be questioned. And mind you, this is a guy that so-called camps for Giannis Antetokounmpo right now. The guy that's the Giannis Antetokounmpo, the guy that's supposed to be gonna be put everybody else to shame and shit, right? But yet, 2Raw's delusional ass statement saying all this shit is like saying Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all those guys are great. But because of the era they played in, they can't surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Oscar Robertson, Julius Erving, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Like, there's a such thing that is called evolution, right? Some players have better resumes. Some players exceed other players from the past. You know what I mean? And there's a guy, you know what I mean? There's somebody that's going to surpass Michael Jordan one day. Me being the biggest Michael Jordan fan around, I can acknowledge that. Has that guy been here yet? Has that is that guy here? You know? It might be Giannis. We never know. But at the end of the day, we can't let our biasness and let our personal narrative, personal bias, and agendas cloud our judgment. But we know what all this shit is about. You know what I mean? A lot of these motherfuckers out here, they're not objective. They got an agenda, and they go off false, fake-ass narratives, and they borrow that shit from all these white supremacists in the media and shit. But we know what type of bullshit, what kind of bullshit 2Raws are. 2Fraudulant4TV, aka Tickets Puppet, Tickets Lapdog and shit. You know, it's crazy. You know what I mean? In comparison, I didn't like the move Kevin Durant did. Okay, I thought it was weak myself. Okay, I thought that shit was weak myself. You know, but I'm not gonna sit here and be non-objective because, you know, I have for a favorite player. I'm trying to count for a favorite player. Let's be honest here. For as great as Charles Barkley is, in some aspects, he's kind of overrated. You know, the guy only won one MVP, right? He was only elite on the offensive end, and he has no defensive accolades. No defensive accolades. Basically, he was only known for an offense as an offensive force. Charles Barkley was only known as an offensive force, you know? And even though Kevin Durant is basically known as only an offensive force, right? Kevin Durant surpassed Charles Barkley a long time ago. Same with Steph Curry, you know? And there's some players out here, Giannis Antetokounmpo has the tools to surpass Karl Malone. Let's be honest. Karl Malone had a large subset of points. You know, he scored a lot of points. But as far as being a two-way player, he was never that. He was never a two-way player. There's another couple things I wanted to touch on, right? He claims that Michael Jordan, which is true. He claims Michael Jordan won his championships by himself 5 out of the 6 times he won his championship, which is the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. You know? Yeah, it's true. Scottie Pippen didn't make the All-Star team in 91 and 98. But what happened to the other 4 years he made it, right? We're not going to count that shit. And he says that LeBron has never won a championship without an All-Star teammate. But forget the fact that in 2016, neither Kevin Love or Kyrie Irving made the All-Star team in 2016. But we know we all the same circumstances. You know, Kyrie Irving missed half the season, right? Just like Scottie Pippen missed half the season in 98. So what I'm saying is that it's all subjective. You can use that same argument applied to Kyrie Irving not making the All-Star team in 2016 as to Scottie Pippen not making it in 1998. Both players missed a significant amount of time. And what I'm saying is either player is playing a full season and making an All-Star team. So that shit evens out. That shit evens out, right? Then he goes on to say Dennis Rodman didn't have no impact the same way Adrian Dantley and Alex English did, right? We're talking about a guy in Dennis Rodman that led the league in rebounding for like 8 seasons in a row. Yeah, he made the All-Star team twice, but we're talking about one of the best rebounders in the last 10 years during that era. You know? And we know how politics work. He had the problems in San Antonio. He became radioactive, not for his basketball talent, but for his off the field, off the court antics. All right. So all this bullshit, you know what I mean? Adrian Dantley, for as great as he was, he started to get long in the tooth during his tenure with the Pistons. You know? Yeah, he was still great. Adrian Dantley was still great with the Pistons, but he wasn't quite the same player he was with the Lakers early on, and, you know, and the Utah Jazz before he came to Detroit. He had started to decline during that time, and Dennis Rodman was starting to be on the come up. So it's like, do you value a guy that's only going to score, give you an X amount of points and nothing else on the defensive end? Or you give a guy that's fresh and green but has a special talent? There were games where Dennis Rodman would score 12 points and would grab 20 rebounds. Now, would I value that over somebody that's going to score 30 points but only grab 1 rebound and it's not going to play defense? Nah. But it's crazy how this clown moves the goalposts in all his videos, right? And we all know what that shit is about, okay? We all know what that shit is about. You know, it's crazy how that shit is. But then he goes on another rant in another video that says Giannis Antetokounmpo is more hated than LeBron James, which is the biggest utter crock of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. You know what I mean? And shout out to Sports Critic. He mentioned something about him mentioning Michael Wilbon and something and all that. You know what I mean? But I knew for a fact that one of these clowns were out of pocket trying to move the goalposts in one of these videos and shit. Talking about Giannis. Nobody likes Giannis. Everybody likes LeBron in the media. You know what I mean? Giannis is doing things that LeBron has never done. You know, Giannis is more respectable. Giannis do this. Giannis never gets no credit, which is, you know what? Which is true. Which is true. But let's not act like you did the same shit to LeBron. You and your cronies over there in the so-called LDBC, you and your boy Pandemic TV weren't doing the same shit that the media is doing to Giannis now. So I find it pretty hypocritical, man. You know what I mean? Find it pretty hypocritical on 2Fraudulant's part. He would, you know, incorporate that shit. Talking about everybody was enamored and awe of LeBron using the same playing style that Giannis is now, but everybody's discrediting Giannis. But the way I see it, they get the exact amount of hate. Now, you got some, you know, fans out here that they're treating Giannis the same way that they treated LeBron. But yet, because it's this narrative that LeBron won his championships on so-called super teams rather than Giannis won by himself. By the way, for as great as Giannis is, they forget about how solid Chris Middleton was, how solid Drew Holiday, P.J. Tucker, DiVincenzo, Brook Lopez, you know? And in 2016, the only consistent player on there was Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was the consistent guy on there. Kevin Love, I thought, was always overrated. He never shows up in big games. And you want to talk about stat padding, right? You want to talk about stat padding. A guy, somebody that should be called out for so-called stat padding. What about Kevin Love in Minnesota before he went to Cleveland with LeBron? Okay? So at the end of the day, it's an equal opportunity thing, you know? Equal opportunity. Giannis was out from game 5 to game 6 of that series with the Atlanta Hawks last year. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez, PJ Tucker, all of them cats stepped up in his place. All of them stepped up in his place. So that shit don't sound like no fucking motherfucking bums to me. So 2R is full of shit. The guy's a clout chaser. The guy's a clown. The guy has an agenda. I don't get why this guy has subscribers, but he caters to all these white supremacists. He's catered to all these shucking and jiving coons, you know? So let me know what y'all cats think about this bullshit, man. We all know what 2Fraudulant4TVs are. We all know he's a puppet. We all know he's a fucking clown and shit, you know? But let me know what y'all cats think, man.